Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Wimbledon, Emma Raducanu beaten by world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka as Brit's run ends with third round defeat. Emma Raducanu saw her Wimbledon run come to an end in the third round despite an incredible battle with world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka on center court. In a high-quality contest from start to finish, Raducanu reminded the tennis world what a special talent she is. The 22-year-old played some electrifying tennis under the roof on center court, but was unable to apply the finishing touches, eventually going down 7-6, 7-6, 6-4 after exactly 2 hours. The first set alone took 74 minutes, with Raducanu saving 7 set points and creating one of her own, while she led 4-1 in the second before Sabalenka recovered to set up a fourth-round match with Elise Mertens. Raducanu will now drop to British number 3 behind Katie Boulter and Sonia Cardle, who is the last home woman left in singles, but that will not be the case for long if she can maintain this level. She played such incredible tennis, and she pushed me really hard to get this win, said Sabalenka. I fight for every point like crazy. I'm super happy to see her healthy and back on track. I'm pretty sure that she will be back in the top 10 soon. What an atmosphere. My ears are still hurting. I was telling myself, just pretend they're cheering for you. And I was having goosebumps. Raducanu had the top seed under pressure in the fifth game, bringing up 3 break points and taking the third when Sabalenka netted a backhand. That was greeted by a huge roar from the packed stands. But Raducanu then made her first missteps, serving at 4-3 to hand the advantage back amid a run of 8 points in a row for Sabalenka. A forehand winner played from virtually sitting down by Raducanu earned a clap from Sabalenka, but too many errors had crept into the home favorite's game, and a netted forehand gave her opponent a first set point. She saved that with an ace, and Sabalenka remarkably missed backhands on every one of 6 more opportunities before Raducanu finally held in one of center court's more memorable games. It seemed impossible for it not to be a key moment, and Sabalenka had a face of thunder after watching 2 Raducanu passing shots fly beyond her reach. Concern replaced cheers when Raducanu suffered a nasty slip in retrieving a short ball, briefly staying down clutching her left hip before gingerly getting to her feet. It did not stop her creating 2 breakpoints, though, and Sabalenka overhit a backhand to leave her opponent serving for the set. This time Sabalenka did not let Raducanu off the hook, forcing a tiebreak, where a drive volley hooked wide of an open court at 5-4 looked like it might have cost the world number 1 when she then netted a return to give Raducanu a first set point. But Sabalenka saved it in style with a drop shot before finally taking her 8th opportunity, this time making no mistake at the net. It was important for Raducanu to recover from the disappointment quickly, and she did, producing 2 strong holds of serve and taking advantage of a dip from Sabalenka to move 4-1 ahead in the second set. Sabalenka has been far and away the best player in the world over the last year, but suddenly she was struggling to live with Raducanu, who played a series of sublime points to create a chance to win a 4th game in a row only to just miss with a forehand. Had she taken it, a deciding set was most certainly on the cards, but Sabalenka, who is the only top 6 seed left in the tournament, barged the door wide open and charged through it, reeling off 5 games in a row. Center court held its breath. The skies above Wimbledon were mercifully clear, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across the hallowed turf as Emma Raducanu prepared to serve. She had clawed her way into the third round of the most storied tournament in tennis, with a nation's hopes gently balanced on her racket. Across the net stood Aryna Sabalenka, world number 1, reigning Australian Open champion, and one of the most dominant forces in women's tennis. The match was a clash not just of rankings or raw power, but of stories, of youth and tenacity against sheer, refined brilliance. Raducanu, the 2021 U.S. Open champion, who had since ridden the turbulent wave of injuries, surgeries, comebacks, and intense scrutiny, had reminded everyone over the past week of what made her a global phenomenon. Her fluid ground strokes, intelligent courtcraft, and unshakable poise had returned to SW19, and with it, a glimmer of British tennis magic. Yet on this day, the fairy tale would fall just short. Aryna Sabalenka, relentless and ruthless, ended the dream in straight sets, 7-6, 5, 6-3. But within that loss, a story far more compelling than any scoreline was quietly unfolding. A battle of will, not just skill. From the very first rally, it was evident this wasn't going to be a simple blowout. Sabalenka, known for her blistering power and thunderous serves, found herself pushed, tested, even rattled at times by Raducanu's tactical brilliance. Emma didn't just survive the opening exchanges, she thrived. She matched Sabalenka's ferocity with deft slice returns, redirected pace with elegant backhands, and counterpunched with remarkable timing. The center court crowd, ever partisan, roared with each point that went Raducanu's way, willing her into belief. In the opening set, Raducanu held serve confidently and fearlessly. Sabalenka, though prone to occasional lapses in rhythm, struck with venom, forcing errors and hitting lines with precision. The set unfolded like a prize fight. No breaks, no blink-and-you-miss-it moments. Just two elite athletes, each daring the other to flinch. The tiebreak loomed, and for a moment, it seemed destiny might favor the Brit. She raced to a 4-1 lead, the crowd erupting in anticipation. But Sabalenka, showing the resilience of a champion, reeled off 5 straight points. The tiebreak swung. The power took over. The set was gone. Emma's shoulders dropped, ever so slightly. A glimpse of tomorrow. What followed in the second set was not so much a collapse as a study in margins. Sabalenka broke early, consolidating with ease. Yet Raducanu never stopped fighting. She chased every ball, read the game with uncanny clarity, and still forced Sabalenka to dig deep. There were no giveaways, no folded hands. Only the smallest shifts in tempo, a few missed chances, and an opponent playing at the peak of her power. At 3-5 down, Raducanu saved 2 match points, igniting hopes once more. But ultimately, Sabalenka sealed the match with an ace, sending her into the 4th round. There was no wild celebration. Sabalenka, respectful and composed, offered a handshake and a nod that spoke volumes. Raducanu had earned her respect. For the Briton, there was no shame in this loss. Only growth. The road back. Raducanu's run to the 3rd round was already a triumph of sorts. Just months ago, she had spoken candidly about the physical and mental toll of the tour, the pressure, the expectation. Multiple surgeries had kept her away from the game, and whispers of one-hit wonder followed her like an unwanted shadow. But her Wimbledon performance was something else entirely. It was a rebuttal, a reminder, a new chapter. "I gave it everything," she said in the post-match interview, her voice steady, her eyes shining with emotion. "She's world number 1 for a reason, but I'm proud of how I competed. This is just the start." It wasn't just a line for the cameras. The difference in Raducanu now, her maturity, her physical resilience, the way she managed points, was striking. She no longer played like a newcomer looking for lightning in a bottle. She played like a future champion sharpening her blade. A nation watches, learns, believes. For British tennis fans, Raducanu's resurgence has been the jolt of hope they craved. Andy Murray's retirement loomed heavy over this Wimbledon fortnight, a reminder that every golden era eventually fades. But with Emma, something stirs again. Not just nostalgia for 2021, but the sense that this time, there's a foundation, stronger, steadier, real. Kids in tennis clubs across the UK once more imitate her service motion. Commentators debate her coaching decisions with fervor. Her matches draw in the casual fan, the skeptic, the dreamer. Because Raducanu, for all the headlines and expectations, remains a symbol of possibility, of how far you can go, how quickly, and how gracefully you can rise again after the fall. Sabalenka's class, Raducanu's courage. To focus only on Raducanu, though, would do a disservice to Aryna Sabalenka. She came into this match knowing the danger. Raducanu may be ranked far lower, but Sabalenka treated the match with the seriousness of a final. Her performance was a testament to her evolution, from a power hitter with nerves to a poised, complete competitor. There's a reason she is the world number 1. Yet Sabalenka's victory also highlighted something else. The fine line between defeat and victory in the women's game today. Raducanu may have lost in straight sets, but she showed that the gap isn't as vast as some would think. Looking ahead, With the crowd still applauding as Raducanu left center court, there was a quiet sense of optimism. Not in the diluted, flag-waving sense, but something deeper. That British tennis might be okay. That Raducanu, still only 22, still learning, still evolving, has more to write in her story. This loss may well be remembered as a turning point, not a peak, not a final chapter, but the moment when Emma Raducanu stepped back into the spotlight not as a prodigy, but as a contender, one who knows the weight of expectation, one who understands the cost of greatness, and one who is ready to pay it. For now, the scoreboard will read Sabalenka def. Raducanu. But to those who watched, who understood, the subtext was louder than the numbers. Emma is back. And this time, she's here to stay.